my really old book about exorcising demons by Jane Fonda. I have some weight to lose and I have to get rid of my alcoholism and my sports gambling addictions. Oh, I didn't see you there. My name is Alistair Dillon. I hold PhDs in space and basketball fundamentals, and I have a minor in film history. I have been told that I am uniquely qualified to discuss and debate and defute whether or not various movies are better than the modern classic Space Jam. Today we'll be discussing James Wan's The Nun, the latest in a long line of movies that are fictional but based on a movie that was based on a true story. Is it better than Space Jam? Let's find out. We open on two scared nuns about to open a door that reads "God ends here," either in Latin or Pig Latin. I'm not entirely sure. I've always gotten the two languages mixed up. They're very confusing.
Art, onde elte ame ufire as days?
Then we meet Frenchie, the roguish ice delivery man of questionable origins. He finds that one of the nuns has committed suicide. So right off the bat, this movie has way more self-inflicted death than Space Jam does. The Vatican then learns about this horrible problem and surprise, this time they actually decide to do something about it. They call in a grizzled old priest who works miracles to investigate. He gets paired with a young but skeptical nun, and they go on a road trip to Romania. When they arrive in Romania, they don't find young girls practicing gymnastics, they actually find a bunch of crosses everywhere. The locals insist that these crosses are probably keeping some kind of evil contained within the structure. In fact, one of the crosses flips upside down, which on the surface might appear a little scary, but if you actually delve deeper and look at the upside down cross, it has the appearance of just an ordinary pogo stick. We are then made aware that the church used to be run by an evil juke who is trying to open a portal to hell. Not unlike the portal that one can take to get from the real world to Looney Tune Land in Space Jam.
What kind of camera is that?
But then the Crusaders arrive and they use Jesus blood in order to close the hole, when they should have just used Gorilla Glue. Now, I'm not sure where they procured this Jesus blood, but they should have worn gloves, as anyone who's gone through any OSHA training courses can tell you that there are so many pathogens in blood that can get you sick and give you hepatitis, they can give you tetanus, all sorts of diseases. So now the nuns have to keep praying Hail Marys in order to keep the breach closed and evil out of this world. The titular bad nun gets out, the good nuns are like, it's out, we need to go to the chapel and pray our asses off. While they're praying, we find out that the ghouls have good team unity, much like the Monstars in their first half of the game against the June Squad. But it turns out all the nuns were dead the whole time anyways. So a nun, a priest, and a Frenchie walk into a bar. I'm just kidding, they actually go deep into the catacombs in order to combat the titular nun. They find the blood of Christ, which proved to be almost as valuable as MJ's secret stuff from Space Jam, because the good guys seal the hole, seemingly defeating the ghoul forever. Surprise! Frenchie wasn't wearing his protective rubber gloves and got infected by the nun!
Take Maurice here. He's a French-Canadian farmer, had nothing more than a third-grade education, yet after he was possessed, spoke some of the best Latin I'd ever heard, sometimes backwards.
The nun was a buffet of scares, which is good and bad. The nun herself was pretty spooky. One could say she could be almost iconic. She was definitely scarier than that Chucky knockoff Annabelle. Arguably, there are too many scares. We jump one right to the other. There was no build-up or foreplay building up to a truly terrifying climax. Jumping. Everyone wants me to jump. I only jump on the basketball court. I want to feel terror. I don't want to go to a movie and do jumping jacks. But the acting performances were good and there were great set pieces. The church was spooky as heckle. Overall, it was a great addition to the quasi-fictional Conjuring Cinematic Universe. And now we're going to hit it to Alistair Dillon courtside with the post-game awards. Alistair Dillon? Oh, I didn't hear you there. Thank you, Alistair Dillon. This is Alistair Dillon with the post-game awards show. First on the docket is the Bill Murray Award for the actor with the least amount of screen time yet made the most impact. Today, that's going to the titular nun. She's scary. Up next is the Mickle of the movie, also known as the MVP. This award goes to Frenchie. Not only does he save the day, he is the linchpin that ties this movie to the first Conjuring. The play of the game also goes to the titular nun for the scene where we finally see her in all of her terrifying glory when she emerges from the spooky door. And now we go back to Alistair Dillon in the Cinema Cinta. Alistair Dillon? Thanks, Alistair Dillon. Now, while The Nun wasn't a perfect movie by any means, it also wasn't a terrible one. So on a scale of 1 to 5 Space Jams, we'll award The Nun about 2.75 Space Jams. Not as terrible as half a Space Jam, but not as good as most of a Space Jam. This has been Alistair Dillon. Good night, and good luck. Now don't forget, everyone, to like, share, and subscribe this video. And if you had any thoughts about The Nun, feel free to lob them my way, either in the comments section or on the official Alistair Dillon Twitter. That's a thing that exists. Please watch the video and like all this stuff, or Kyle will haunt me.